believe in yourself. I mean, I think it's cliche, but it's definitely, having self-belief. You can go so far with it, honestly, because you stay focused, you don't let anyone distract you, and you're just going for it,
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Eightseven Talks, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Rianna Patterson, and she's going to be here telling us all about all the amazing things that she does. But before we get into all of that, Rianna, for those who don't know you, how would you describe yourself?
I would say I'm a founder, mentor, coach, and speaker. Yeah.
So you mentioned founder, mentor, coach, and speaker. So let's start off with the first thing you mentioned. So you're a founder. So what is it initiative that you've started, and what made you begin that initiative?
Yeah, so I founded a youth-led dementia charity back in Dominica in 2016 in memory of my grandfather. He passed away with dementia when I was 16. And then shortly after, I kind of went on to stumble upon psychology, deepen my interest in mental health and human behavior. And then after college, I founded this charity.
So you mentioned dementia, and of course, as you said, it's something that's very close to you on a personal level. So is there anything else that made it such a topic that you wanted to pursue with such passion?
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting how the brain kind of forgets, everything very progressively. Even with yourself, the little things that you remember about your partner or your friends and, college, those kind of things, the memories make us. And if we don't have the memories, then we don't really have us. And that's kind of worrying. So yeah, I was quite interested to see how long-term memories and short-term memories kind of disappear. And then sometimes they come back as well. So it is quite interesting to see how the brain works. So for me, I want to delve into that. And then most importantly, there's not enough support for people with dementia in Dominica, because we're the only dementia charity in the country, that is doing that kind of work. So yeah, more needs to be done, definitely. There needs to be more dissemination of information about dementia. Yeah, there's loads. Tackling the stigma, that's another thing as well, because in our community, it's not really talked about, so yeah, I think we definitely need to normalize talking about mental health and those kind of things.
Especially right now in this day and age where, I guess first and foremost, we've all been through the sort of life-changing periods of lockdown with obviously COVID and everything that has happened, and that's kind of brought into focus so much more, not only the importance of our mental health, but how the smallest changes can have such a massive impact on it. And I think what you were saying there about raising awareness is very important. So when you go back to when you first started the charity, the organisation, how did you begin? What was the first steps you took to get started?
First of all, I had to personally prep myself, because at that point in time, I was relatively shy and I didn't really want to be the forefront of something so big, because starting an organization is quite a big step, especially for an introvert. So I had to kind of go into different organizations and seek support when it comes to public speaking, so I can kind of calm my nerves and, speak very confidently on a matter as this. And just build my network as well, because I just came out of college. So I thought I probably need, quite a few different people, mixture of skills in my network. So I did that as well. And I did a bit of volunteering. So that kind of feed into building my network and, obviously making a difference and things like that. Yeah, so it was definitely a lot of personal progression, to take on this type of work, definitely.
And I think the key thing you've talked about there as well is your network and the importance of taking time for yourself to develop and to learn stuff. So throughout that period of learning and building up a network, you've kind of met lots of different people, and people that have influenced you. Who would you say has been like an instrumental person for you in what you've done so far?
I don't know. I would want to say Rianna, but I haven't even met her. I haven't spoken to her, but I really admire the work that she does, because apart from being a singer, I mean, we haven't even got her song track for many years now, so we won't talk about that. But, with her entrepreneurial journey, it's been quite motivating to see, because she's also from the Caribbean and she's focusing on health as well through her Clara Lionel Foundation. And then she's also trying to kind of disturb the media in terms of diversity through her luxury brands and stuff like that. So I am following the work she's doing and kind of creating it, and looking at her models, that she's done with her own charity, and see what I can implement in mine. So I think she's been a big part of my life, even though we don't know each other personally. But yeah, I am following the work that she's doing on that front, definitely.
And that's a really good thing you said, because I think it's really important, not just in what we're doing to kind of like, be inspired and to have our own ideas and our own journey, but being able to see someone that you can emulate and you can learn little things from is like so very important, because that's what gives you that extra fuel and helps kind of make things go in the right direction. Yeah. So would you say you have anyone that's like a mentor that you meet up with, or you talk to online, or that you reach out to, that's kind of helping you to guide you as well?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've got different mentors. I've had different mentors in every stage of my life, especially during that time when I founded the charity. I shortly got an award from the Queen, so the Queen's Young Leaders Program. And with that, we also had like a year of the Leading Change program. And then that also provided us with a mentor. So I got a mentor, and I would say, yeah, my mentor was definitely instrumental in my growth. And then after that, I also had a mentor through the Princess Trust for the film project that I'm working on. And then I also outsourced a mentor from my own network for my coaching business that I want to develop further. So yeah, and I would also say just in my family as well, because we've got mentors for, professional development, but also personal, because adulting is quite a lot to juggle.
It's a lot.
Do the laundry, this and that, go A to B. So yeah, just doing the like day-to-day things has been quite helpful, just coming out of university. University itself is kind of like a bubble,
Very much so.
And then when you come out of it, you kind of like, oh, I have to pay bills. Oh, there's income tax. Wow, everything's expensive. So it is a lot to kind of figure out, and you have loads of applications and you need to keep on top of things and stuff like that. So yeah, having that personal mentor as well is definitely very, very instrumental in that 20s period, in that time of your life. So yeah.
Now today's video is in partnership with a hot new brand that you should know all about, and their name is Butterbox. Now Butterbox is a gift box of delectable African snacks. It contains all your yummy favourites such as plantain chips, roast groundnuts, chin chin, and the ones that take you all the way back, like coconut candy, koro koro, and kuli kuli. Now there are 5 box options to choose from, ranging from the Veximani box all the way up to the Awambe box, which is suitable for larger groups. Head over to butterbox.com to order your box today. So you touched on the fact that you're working on a video project. So tell us a bit more about what you've got, what you're working on, what you've got in mind, and why it's such an important project to bring to life.
Yeah, absolutely. So the documentary film is going to basically tackle dementia in the Caribbean, but with a focus on Dominica. But I am in connection with other countries like Barbados, St. Lucia, and other islands as well, to kind of bring a more regional perspective when it comes to aging and aging well, because a lot of the documentaries that I've seen, they kind of talk about the elderly, they're fragile, vulnerable and things like that. And then when you kind of hear those kind of words, it doesn't really inspire you, doesn't give you hope, it doesn't really activate anything in you. And I want to bring about a more positive feeling when it comes to aging. You're aging well, you're embracing change, you're going out there, you're making the most of it. Because you're getting old doesn't mean that you're going to get dementia. And because you are growing old doesn't mean that life stops. So that is kind of like what I want to bring out in this documentary. I want it to be lively, full of vibes, energy, because that's what we are,
Exactly.
So I just want to just kind of bring about a film that will create social change,
And I just love how you're just describing not only the heart behind it, but also the scope and the reach that you'd like it to have. So I think it's important not only to capture the imagination of people, but to also inspire and uplift them as well, even when it's like a difficult topic or something which, because at the end of the day, we're all going to get older at one way or another. And I think it's important for us to be aware of not only what could happen, but the other side of it. Because if you're only given one picture of what things are like, you feel like doom and gloom. But if you see there's more to it, then that's a lot more powerful as well. And of course, you're crowdfunding right now. So how can people kind of support you and invest into this project?
Yeah, so if they go on to Buy Me a Coffee, that's what I decided to use, particularly because I've kind of started this crowdfunder during COVID, and I didn't want to use a crowdfunding platform that kind of just, I don't know, GoFundMe, it was too harsh for me. I felt like people, already had financial things going on during COVID, so I think Buy Me a Coffee sounds a bit more relaxed. So it's on Buy Me a Coffee, buymeacoffee.com/dementia-doc. So yeah, if they go onto there, then they can support me that way as well.
And of course, you mentioned that you do coaching as well. So what led you to sort of start down that path of coaching?
Yeah, so like coaching has been quite a new thing to me. But I was just thinking about, mentoring and coaching. These kind of things are very integral in anyone's life at any stage. And it has been for mine as well. Just people need direction. Sometimes you go day in, day out, you do the same thing, and then you're just like, oh my gosh, there's no enjoyment anymore. I'm lacking. What's going on? Like there's something missing. And usually we have the answers in ourselves, but we just need someone to just kind of, give us the right question. And then we're like, I get you now. So that is kind of like what the coaching and mentoring does. So I want to kind of support people in, making sure that they can achieve the best life possible, because you only have one life anyways. So you might as well enjoy it. And I feel like during COVID as well, a lot of people were at home just working, and coming out of that environment now can be quite difficult because you're already in tune in just working. But there's more to life than just working. You have to actually enjoy your weekends, rest, things like that. All of that is part of the productivity, but people don't really see that. So I definitely just want to kind of amplify that a bit more, that, there's I think there's about 7 things that you need in life. There's spiritual, emotional, and other little bits and things in the sectors. And then that makes a wholesome life. So if you are missing things, then you are missing out on different aspects of your life that you should be involved in, like social, which is a very, important part. But if you're not in tune with it, then you wouldn't really realize that until someone's like, hey, you haven't gone out much, So yeah, I think it's definitely important to speak to a coach, speak to a mentor, because you never know what can come of it. So yeah, that's definitely an area I'm very passionate about as well.
And I think alongside that, it's so refreshing because again, it's almost like not only are you sort of taking a gift and a passion that you have and applying to other people, you're also kind of paying back what you've received as well from your own mentors and things that you've learned from family and friends. You're then investing into other people. So I think that's like a nice little cycle you've got going on there, and like what you're learning and you're receiving, you're then helping other people to kind of open up their minds, their eyes, and see what's possible for them as well.
Oh yeah,
so it's
absolutely.
like a nice little thing. So with I know we mentioned the film just a little while ago. What's your sort of timeline in terms of like, when would you like to get started and when would you hope for it to be released?
Yeah, so it was supposed to be released this year, November, so I would have gone there in October. But because of the COVID and everything, I just thought now is probably not the best time. And it was a very hard decision to make because I have been working on this for a year, I've been crowdfunding, and I think my crowdfunder has been, it's been going on for a year now. Relatively, usually you've got crowdfunders that are going on for a month or maybe 3 months, but it's been going on for a year span. So I feel like, I was definitely gearing up to, closing off this crowdfunder and actually starting get the team ready, get the interviewees. So it was very exciting for me, but I felt like Dominica was going off the green light, the red light, the green light. And I just thought like, I don't want to go in Dominica and I'm not getting the most out of what I expected from this film. So yeah, I think the better time would be next year, unfortunately. So it would be, same time, October, and then release it November.
Of course, like being flexible with the situation that we're in, because it's very difficult, and every week, every day even, things are changing all the time. So I think it's good you've got that goal, you've got that target. Obviously, it's the delays they're annoying, but the good thing is that in this time you learn more, you get to meet more people, and you also get to kind of refine all the little bits and pieces you want to put into it as well. So in the end, it will all kind of work out in the way you're hoping for with everything. So looking at all the things you've learned so far in life, looking at what you do now and the person you've become, if you were to give advice to your younger self, so say your 12-year-old self, what would you say to young 12-year-old Rianna?
I would say believe in yourself. I mean, I think it's cliche, but it's definitely, having self-belief. You can go so far with it, honestly, because you stay focused, you don't let anyone distract you, and you're just going for it, And I think around that time, I would say I was focused, but I wasn't really confident in myself. Like, I knew what I wanted to do, and sometimes I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then when I get that conflict, then, the lack of confidence goes into it hand in hand, and then, it's just a bundle of mess. But once you've got confidence, even if you are unaware of where you're going in life, you've got confidence, and you are aware that, this is just temporary. I will get there. And you've got that strength to carry on. It's very powerful. So I would say, yeah, definitely believe in yourself.
That is amazing advice. And I think that is something that we can apply at all ages, especially now with the things we do, having that confidence, that belief in yourself and your abilities is just so very important. So is there anything that you would say to anyone watching to kind of, I guess, inspire them in what they want to do?
I would just say keep working on your craft, keep working on your ideas. Don't throw away your ideas. That's something else, because you never know when that idea might just develop into something big. So never throw away your ideas. Don't say, that's dumb. Why am I working on this? Just put it on the side and maybe come back to it, and take rest, because creativity can't just keep going. At some point you will get burnt out. So, maybe take a pause. It's okay to be, on a drought. Just come back to it when you're refreshed, and then you can have new ideas, new perspectives. Sometimes inspiration comes in, a very wild situation. You might just be walking, and then something just happens, a spark happens. So yeah, definitely don't take rest as you're not working towards something, I would also say connect with another creative and then see what comes from there. Just be flexible with being adaptable, It doesn't have to go your way all the time. Sometimes you have to go X, Y, and Z, and you come back to right where you need to be. So just be very fluid in life, and you'll be fine.